The year was 1324, and gold shimmered across the sands of Cairo as a caravan unlike any the world had ever seen arrived from the south. At its center rode a man cloaked in embroidered linen, said to be richer than any king in Europe. Mansa Musa of Mali, emperor, pilgrim, legend, but behind the awe of his golden pilgrimage lies a question history dares not ask. What kind of civilization could produce such wealth, such precision, such command over materials and mathematics? This is not just the story of kingdoms and crowns, it's the story of forgotten brilliance of technologies so advanced, so intricate, that they still defy Western timelines of progress. Today, we unveil 5 ancient African technologies that will forever change the way you see human history, long before the first European clock chimed. In a village square, the Dogon people of Mali were mapping the stars with eerie precision, nestled in the Bandiagara escarpment. The Dogonese oral tradition spoke of a star system invisible to the naked eye, Sirius A and its tiny companion, Sirius B. Western astronomers didn't confirm the existence of Sirius B until 1862, and even then, only with telescopes. Yet the Dogon had already described its elliptical orbit, its immense density, and its 50-year revolution around Sirius A, all through an oral tradition passed down for centuries. How did they know? Some say they had help from ancient Egyptians. Others whisper of lost African astronomers and stone observatories scattered across the Sahel. Robert Temple, in his controversial work The Sirius Mystery, brought global attention to the Dogon cosmology. While debated, what remains uncontested is this: the Dogonese knowledge predates modern science in ways that challenge the Western assumption that all advanced astronomy was born in Greece or Rome, and maybe, just maybe, there were African lenses turned skyward long before Europe looked up. Now let's shift east to the Nile Valley, older than Rome, older even than Athens, hidden beneath the sands of Nubia, in what is today northern Sudan. Archaeologists uncovered something startling: an ancient dam at Kawa dating back to the 8th century BC. Built by the Kushite kings, this structure redirected water for agriculture and protected settlements from seasonal floods. But the real revelation came in 2012, when satellite imagery revealed massive underground reservoirs and irrigation networks, proof that the Nubians were not merely surviving in the desert, but mastering it. We're taught that the Romans built aqueducts and that Mesopotamians invented the first water systems. Yet here were Africans channeling the Nile's fury with geometry and hydraulics centuries before such techniques reached the Tiber. This wasn't trial and error, it was engineering, deliberate, mathematical, visionary. And speaking of precision, let's talk metallurgy. Deep in the forests of southeastern Nigeria, in the ancient kingdom of Igbo-Ukwu, a burial site was unearthed in 1938. What they found stunned the academic world. Ornate bronze and copper artifacts, not just decorative, but forged with a metallurgical sophistication unrivaled in the world at the time. Dating back to the 9th century CE, these artifacts predate similar European techniques by at least 5 centuries. The level of detail astonishing. Lost wax casting so refined that modern metallurgists have struggled to replicate it without industrial tools. No furnaces, no written blueprints, just an inherited mastery of fire and form. According to Dr. Thurston Shaw, who led the excavation in the 1950s, the objects revealed a wealth of detail and craftsmanship which one associates with Renaissance art. Yet Igbo-Ukwu is absent from most global textbooks. Why? Perhaps because it doesn't fit the narrative that metalwork of this caliber needed to evolve from Greco-Roman traditions. But the evidence lies beneath the soil. Africa was crafting masterpieces in bronze while Europe was still finding its forge. And if bronze can speak, so can stone. In present-day Zimbabwe, towering stone walls rise without mortar or cement. This is Great Zimbabwe, the capital of an empire that thrived between the 11th and 15th centuries. Built from over 900,000 hand-cut granite blocks, its conical towers and encircling walls stretch hundreds of meters. But these were not mere fortresses. They were symbols of power, trade, and architectural genius. The Portuguese, upon encountering ruins of Great Zimbabwe in the 16th century, could not believe Africans had built it. They assumed it must have been the work of Arab or biblical migrants. But carbon dating and Shona oral traditions say otherwise. Great Zimbabwe was purely African, designed by engineers who understood geometry, physics, and the balance between nature and design. Even the placement of its structures suggests a knowledge of solar patterns and wind dynamics. Like the pyramids of Giza, Great Zimbabwe was not just a monument to human labor, it was a message carved in stone. We were here, we were brilliant, and we left our mark. But nothing encapsulates the ancient African imagination quite like the legend of Carthage's warships. Founded by Phoenician settlers in the 9th century BC, Carthage on the coast of modern-day Tunisia became a maritime powerhouse. At its peak, it boasted a navy that rivaled Rome's, but it wasn't just the size of their fleet, it was how they built and deployed it. Carthaginian dry docks, some of the earliest in history, could house hundreds of ships. These circular harbors, described by ancient historians like Appian and excavated in the 20th century, show an astonishing level of naval planning. Ships were docked in a spoke-like design, allowing rapid deployment and maintenance, and atop the central command tower, a temple to Baal Hammon, the god of time and strategy. What is more astonishing is that Carthaginian warships may have used advanced rudder systems and maneuverability techniques lost after their fall in 146 BCE when Rome razed Carthage and salted its earth. They didn't just destroy a city, they buried centuries of maritime innovation that would not be seen again until the age of exploration. And so we arrive at a crossroads: the Dogon stargazers, the Nubian engineers, the Igbo metallurgists, the Shona architects, the Carthaginian shipwrights. These are not footnotes to history, they are chapters that were torn out, edited, or forgotten, and yet their brilliance lingers in the curves of a bronze vessel, in the alignment of stars carved into sandstone, in the silent defiance of a ruined wall rising from African soil. But here's the mystery: what else have we missed? What other technologies lie beneath the forest floor or the desert wind, waiting to be rediscovered? And how might they rewrite everything we think we know about who we are and where genius truly comes from? If this journey opened your eyes to the hidden innovations of Africa's past, then we invite you deeper. Like this video, subscribe for more untold stories, and drop a comment below. Which ancient African invention do you think deserves a spotlight in global history books? This is History Off the Map, where the past was never primitive, just hidden until now.